Hi, I'm Cath. I'm a probation officer based here in Folkestone. During the lockdown, we continued to work. There were people still coming out of prison, people still going into prison, and obviously those people still needed to be managed. Our office was manned by a skeleton crew. We didn't have the full complement of staff in because of the COVID issues and obviously from contaminating each other. So we had a rota where there was only 3 or 4 of us in the office, one receptionist, and then we would see the clients as necessary. Depending on the risks of the clients, obviously we saw some of them weekly, some of them we did door stops, some we did video links, and some we just phoned because, again, obviously everyone was frightened about cross-contaminating everybody. It was a bit of a bleak time because it was unknown what was going on. And obviously you were looking at the figures every day where people were dying, so that was quite frightening, not only to staff but to our clients as well, because obviously a lot of them were in that lockdown and they didn't have any family support, they were on their own. So it was the same for them as it was for us, really. I suppose we were all in the same boat, basically. So that went on for some time, for a long time, as we're all aware of. We had weekly meetings with the government to adapt our delivery of our service to each individual's need. So there's a lot of thought going into that, and also at the same time keeping yourself safe. At the time of the COVID, the pandemic, I was feeling quite, I suppose, a bit unsure, but at the same time, because I was working, that took my mind off things, really. So I just concentrated on the people that I was working with and what we had to do as a whole, as the probation service. It was frightening when you watched the TV and saw the news and all the figures. And people, if somebody got COVID, you were obviously quite worried for them because at that time you thought they were going to die. And obviously people were dying. So to keep myself and my own sanity going, I just kept busy going to work. And then when I was going out early in the morning to get a walk, which was good for my emotional well-being and my peace of mind. Being involved in the community was working together with clients in the probation service and checking in on them, doing shopping. If they had to get prescriptions and stuff, we would help people to support them, each other. You know, sometimes we'd get shopping for each other, leave it on the door and just phone them or, to say, well, I've got you this, I've got you that. Obviously, the supermarkets were quite bleak at that time because people were running out of toilet rolls and other non-perishables. But there was an abundance of fresh fruit and veg, which really surprised me, actually. And nobody touched that, which was strange. I wondered if that was because people were frightened of people touching it. But, I keeping busy kept my mind straight. I think if we look back in 20 to 30 years, I suppose for people that are catching up on our history, they'll be quite shocked because obviously nothing had happened like that before for hundreds of years. So I think when it was the Spanish flu. So I expect people will be interested in how we did manage with that, all staying in, not going out, doing things together. I think that sort of families became closer, or some families became more distant because actually they've never spent that much time with each other. So I suppose looking back on it, there will be a lot of research in the sense of how we cut back on waste, how we drew together, did things together, learnt new skills. More people went onto social media, more so than ever before. TikTok took over, everybody was dancing and people were raising money for different charities and people became heroes out of the COVID. So there'd be a lot to look back on, I suppose, yeah. For me to think if I changed through that pandemic time, I would say I'm still the same person. My only frustration was my dad lives in Spain, I couldn't go and see him. So I was worried that he might die and I wouldn't see him. So that was difficult. I just wanted to get out there as soon as possible. So frustration and worry, but obviously, thank God we got the phone to check on him. So I think as a person, maybe I became more mindful and looked out for more people. Whereas maybe I used to do that anyway, but maybe a bit more, making sure everyone's all right.